he makes some comments, dude, about other people just kill me.
Yeah, he's kind of like a comedian, so it's funny like watching him talking to other comedians where he seems more at home and like he's more open. But also it's the way that they talk to him because they kind of I don't know, the way they talk to him is respectful. It's not like just trying to bash him right away,
Yeah,
even
sure.
though some of them are
Against them,
obviously
yeah.
democratic and against him as comedians. But I'm not that comedians are democratic
I don't even know.
in general. I'm just saying like
No, but celebrities tend to be, you know, tend to. No, obviously. There's a lot of big A-list celebrities that are, you know,
yeah, it
super
was just
solid way of thinking, at least,
it was just the way that they interviewed him also, they're talking to him about his family up front and asking him how he raises his family because usually when you see except for in politics, which is kind of funny because he's a business guy. So if you just looked at business people, most business people's kids are kind of turds.
Yeah, they're like
And
trust fund babies.
what's that saying? The son of a great man is often what I don't know. I can't remember what it is,
No, that
but
one.
it's like
But if
if
you
you
knew it,
don't.
it sounds like I might like it.
It's like when you don't when you aren't given a lot of trials and adversity in your life, you don't have a lot of character to grow from, so you're
Yeah,
just spoiled and you kind of act like the product of your environment.
yeah.
So a lot of times they're spoiled, but they were asking him about that, and he was saying Trump. He was saying that he basically made all of his kids work for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So they have. I'm assuming because I had to do the same. It was just value that they learned in things.
Yeah.
This is worth all the effort that I put into it, and I'm going to take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they've ever been caught in any shenanigans, but I can't
Trump's
imagine that
kids?
it's any worse than Biden's kids.
No, dude. Trump's
Not
kids.
the one that died in
Trump's kids are like,
the military, but the other one.
I mean, without knowing them personally, from what the world knows about them, they're about as solid as fucking. They're literally just following his footsteps.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude's never drank a beer
Or smoked
or
cigarettes, or he
smoked
doesn't do any
exactly.
drug. I don't know if he drinks coffee. That's a
His
drug.
kids are going the same
It's
way.
probably the hardest he does. Trump's hardest
Honestly,
drug is caffeine.
I would be surprised if he even drinks caffeine.
Yeah, I
To be
wonder if he
honest,
does.
at that point, that like you gotta understand whether you like the guy or not, right? That's irrelevant. As far as the caliber of person, that dude is a straight like A-list alpha male. I mean, I've never met a guy that I'm like, oh, I'm intimidated. You're intimidated. And I've worked in Hollywood and LA and I've met so many like A-list celebrities. I don't even care. They're just people, and they're usually dicks.
Where
So like,
where were you from originally? Like where were you born at?
I was born actually in Van Nuys, California, but we moved. I was only a month or two old, 3 months, something like that. Moved to Oregon. I lived up in Oregon for
Yeah. How long did y'all live there?
10 years, something like that.
And then you.
Came to California
So
again.
when you were 10, you moved back to California.
Yeah, up in north of LA, like Ventura County. It was nice when we moved there. It was like 89, 88, 89, something like that. 178, so yeah.
God, you're so old.
I know. But yeah, there was like 10,000, 12,000 people in the town. And so it was smaller than where we live here. Dirt roads, like stop signs, one stoplight. There was like one liquor store, Stagecoach Liquor, and it's still there. It's super rad.
Yeah, that's cool seeing stuff like from your childhood that's
Yeah.
still in business,
It's been
especially after COVID, watching small
oh,
businesses
dude, just go
survive. But
nothing.
yeah,
Stagecoach made it because it's still like it's a historic. It was the first store opened in Thompson Oaks, Newbury Park back in like the 40s or 50s. Like there was literally like three farmers, three ranchers. They were ranchers. Three ranchers who lived there, and then one store. It's Stagecoach Liquor. So you get your milk and eggs and beer. One place, dude. It's nice, but it's still there. It's pretty cool.
and you
So
lived there for how long were you there? So you moved there. You moved back when you were 10.
So this part gets tricky because I moved a lot.
Yeah.
So moved there when I was 10. Stayed there until I was like 14, maybe 4 years. No, that's incorrect. Moved 17. So for 7 years, we lived in one house, right? Then my folks lost their house, or they moved. I don't know, probably both, and they went to Lake Tahoe up there, and I moved out. When I was 17. I was done with school. I was working for a builder,
At 17?
and then as soon as I turned 18,
This is back in the 1900s, so it's like, I think you can work at 16 when
I thought you
you're.
were making a knock, dude. I'm like, oh no, it is the 1900s. Yeah.
I was making a knock. I'm from there too, but barely, only by a
Yeah,
decade. I told my little brother one time, I was like, I haven't heard that since the 1900s, and he was like, God, you're old, and I was like, shut up.
fucking children, dude.
You shut up. That's supposed to be funny because it's so close.
I don't really like children.
Yeah.
I like your children too.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, homie.
uh,
I only know one of your kids, so I can't be
I know.
too biased about your
The
children.
other one is super nice, but you mentioned earlier, like when you were talking about kids that don't face trials. You know, obviously you build no character. You never learn how to do anything on your own. You're not going to become an adult. You're going to become a man child. You know, just a grown child, I should say at this point. But yeah, my older boy is way more sensitive and just couldn't handle my kind of parenting. Where I'm like, figure it out. Like, hey, I need to get this thing. Figure it out. Like, I'm not doing shit for you. I'm here to make sure you don't get hurt. You know, too bad. That you can, that you go to school, you educate yourself. But as far as like life skills and things, I will put you in the situations that will require you to think on your own or fail by.
What is that noise? Do you hear that?
Probably,
Hold on.
hold on. Lana, no. Really, let Lana inside. Put Lana inside. It's not on.
I think she's trying to dig under the shed. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Trials and shit for kids. Anyway.
And you were talking about your oldest boy.
My older boy is just really sensitive. And he did not take well to my figure it out kind of parenting. I give my kids a lot of responsibility. Like their leash is long, right? But I always keep tabs on them. I know where they are. I know where they're supposed to be. But for me, I kind of stopped them for a little bit in the beginning, just to make sure they were making the right decisions, doing the right things, being in places they say they were going to be, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, it was. He didn't like it, so he latched onto his mother. She is a helicopter mom, like does everything for you. Like, don't worry, I'll take care of the bills. Don't worry, I'll help you get your license, or you know, I'll help you get home from school. Hey, dude, you're a senior. Figure the crap out.
Yeah.
You know?
A senior in high school?
Yeah, he's done now, but this was the past 10 years of his life, 7 years probably of his life. He's been like slowly disconnecting from me just because he just thinks I'm Ellis told me he was like, he just thinks you're like a violent, angry alcoholic and a super Trump right wing extremist. Like, you clearly don't know me at all, dude. Because I mean, I have a lot of patience. I don't lose my temper like that. And sure, I drink, but by no means am I an alcoholic. That's ridiculous. He just doesn't. So, but this one.
I feel like a lot of times, and this isn't always the case, but it seems like a lot of times the people who are the most sensitive towards other people are like not narcissistic, but they don't take into account where and what those people that are treating them the way that they think is brash
Oh yeah,
might have come from. You know what I mean? They're like
they're
they
not.
don't
Yeah,
they
they're
don't
self-centered.
understand where you come from. They just understand how you're treating them in their situation, and they're just like not having it
Yeah,
because they're like, why are you doing this to me? This is why like
exactly.
this is
I mean,
I don't know.
no, I totally agree with that because it's they're just self-centered, and a lot of the decisions they make are based on emotion.
Yeah.
How does it make me feel? You know, it's kind of the way it is with one side of our political fence here. It's always about how does it make you feel. That's why whenever you hear all the crap on the news and whatever,
Well, it's a lack of perspective, all
correct,
around, and
total lack of perspective.
there's
Yeah,
not a whole lot of incentive going around for people to give out their. I mean, like you hear certain perspectives on stuff, but a lot of times it's like, especially because the way that it's taken in. So a lot of times it's social media stuff.
mm-hmm.
So your incentive is going to be driven by whoever essentially owns that platform and
Right.
like pushes those things forward.
Gotcha.
So if
Yeah.
that's all you see, then that's how you feel all the time. You're like, that does relate to me. That is how I feel. And the other side is stupid. It's kind of like, what's funny? You were talking. I'm fucking weaving way out here. You were talking to me about dimensions, like higher
Oh
dimensional
yeah, that is way
things
out there. Yeah.
and stuff. So okay.
No,
So
we're
what
good.
I was gonna say is I was gonna say that it's kind of a one-dimensional perspective.
Yeah.
You only see things in a straight line, and
Totally.
you don't. There's a whole lot of lines out there,
Mhm.
and you're only looking at one.
Well, how many people? There's like 8 billion people now, something like that.
Yeah.
Right? So there's 8 billion lines. Everybody lives in their own universe. Even as family men, we have our lives and they have their lives. We just heavily overlap, you know. But eventually, those are two different, entire, complete storylines. Total two different universes. You know what I mean? If you want to go real philosophical, but yeah.
And if we are all connected, it would be very interesting as someone portrayed like in the Bible, God would be able to see things through all those perspectives and understand everybody's position.
Yeah, if you were like
And
omnipresent, that's kind of the idea behind it. Right?
that's a really interesting way to like look at everything.
Yeah. But how can you
Obviously,
be omnipresent
stupid to say.
yet not reside in certain people?
Not reside in certain people?
Yeah, because if God, if you say like, hey, get out of me, I don't want you anywhere near me, like he's not going to be in you. That's what the Bible says. So how could he be everywhere if he's not somewhere?
Maybe because I think I would say if I was going to argue on the side of Christianity, I would say because you're given free will and that is your gift, which is, also you see people blame stuff on God. That's horrible. There are very horrible situations that happen, people chopping limbs off of babies
Sure.
and worse. It's God's fault to them because he allowed it to happen in the first place.
So free will is your answer? So
I would
what about hell?
Hell?
Hell doesn't have free will, and it's not even human. So why isn't God in hell?
I think that's in the Bible. It's supposed to be a punishment that is given to someone who understands entirely
Well, I
the.
understand the reason for hell. I'm just talking about being omnipresent. You can't be one thing if you were also the opposite. So God can't be all powerful because I have the power, free will, to say no. So he can't say no. I don't care what you say. You're coming to heaven anyway. That's not how it works.
Well, if yeah, it does because if you look at like the way that if you're omnipresent and you know all past, future, present, whatever. If you look at the dimensions like that are measurable apparently by math, I don't know exactly how it works because I'm like
or
is there
27 or
they
some
say
insane number.
yeah, I think there's 11 dimensions. I don't know how many more
Probably just
past
keeps
that, but the
going.
next dimension is technically time.
Mhm.
So the dimension above
Right.
us is apparently time, and you can move forward and backward through time, but you can't branch off basically. And then the fifth dimension, you can branch off. You can go back and change. And I'm butchering this. Someone could do it way better than me. I don't know this specifically. I just like watched a YouTube video on it. but there's all these higher dimensions where you gradually grant new powers, basically about moving through times and spaces and so on and so forth. When you get to the 10th dimensions, where they assume that God lives, but there may be a dimension above him. Which, if I had to guess, I would say God would probably, if you're going to have something that created everything and it's relayed in the Bible as this thing, then that that thing that creates everything is probably whatever the highest dimension is, and it's
Yeah, that's totally possible.
unimaginable to us.
Yeah,
I don't even know how to
actually,
draw you a picture of that.
that's an interesting thought because I've never actually thought about God, heaven, and hell residing in those opposite dimensions, if there is such a thing as a linear dimensional line, multiple dimensions going through the line.
Yeah.
That's an interesting. It could be a circle. I guess in that case, there's still an
He's
opposite.
like a circle.
Yeah, there's still an opposite. So, I mean, I feel like there's an opposite to everything, even matter. Matter and antimatter. So,
Yeah. And that's still in our third dimension.
Well, correct. Well, matter is multidimensional. Matter is a silly thing because when you break it down, like in they witnessed this in CERN. The Hadron Collider in Switzerland.
I know what you're talking about.
CERN, they did it.
Is that the same place where they came up with the element 115 that Bob Lazar talked about back in like the 60s or whatever?
Probably.
That was the fuel for the.
Can you hear me? Am I too far away?
You're too far away.
Oh.
I probably can't hear you for half the time. Sorry, I'm a horrible producer.
That's right. Anyway, they did this thing where they, the Hadron Collider, they like blast energy, basically, or something. I'm not a scientist. The matter, they just shoot towards each other, and it hits, and it creates a tiny black hole. It creates a tiny Big Bang, just for like an instant, right? But it's long enough where they can measure and see things, and I think that is where they've discovered a bunch of crap. But
if you're building black holes, it sounds like.
It's crazy. It's pretty cool.
Sounds to me like somebody a long time ago was trying to make some kind of time machine. I bet they could do it though, because I mean, like based off of, if you listen to what the hell's that guy's name? He was just on the JRE a couple of episodes before Trump, the Joe Rogan Experience. There's this guy.
I know now. You said JRE, and I was like, oh,
yeah, there was this guy. Oh man, I can't remember his name. He's so interesting. He's like he studies, I think the like philosophy of the universe or whatever. I don't know what that job is. I can't remember what it is specifically, but my phone's on the stupid. Actually, I could look it up. Hold on.
Oh, look at that. This is why you need.
Well, I tried to hook it up to the TV earlier.
Person.
Oh yeah, guy looking at, so I could just be like, you look that up, and
While
then
we're
not
talking,
have dead silence. Yeah, he's like, oh, that guy is this.
So we talk about it, and then they just shoot the info in, like a row.
No. I tried to touch the screen.
So do you edit this at all? Like
no, I didn't edit the last one at all. I'm not going to edit any of them. I think I'm just going to leave them like, unless there's something in it that like.
Cut like 10 seconds of me just
Yeah, the boring stuff. But I don't know. I feel like maybe sometimes you just have silence. I don't know. You know what it comes down to?
I couldn't answer that. I think I've listened to watch. See, that's how much. I think I've listened to like maybe 3 podcasts like in my life, maybe 15 minutes, and I shut them off after 6.
Squirrel.
Yeah. I'm driving. I just want to hear my car.
Just gonna look it up on YouTube. It'll load in a second.
Google has it.
I may be even thinking of the wrong guy. There was a guy on. It doesn't matter. There was a guy on the JRE.
The only guy who knows
music. He was essentially he was saying that like I guess you could manipulate time and go back in time. But I don't know if he knows the actual, like, what would you call it, engineering, where he would build something that would be able to allow you to go back in time, where you could step in like in a freaking movie, or like I don't know how it would
That
work.
gets into the engineering side.
Maybe you could just write an equation and then it's like a cheat code for the, what do you call it, a simulation, and then you just skip back like a video game, rewind. I don't know.
And
I don't know what's going on.
like, so time is a weird thing. It's super duper complicated.
It's based off of gravity, essentially.
Yeah, it's relative.
Which is funny because, like, so this guy that I was thinking of that was just on his podcast not too long ago was talking about black holes and the energy that's surrounding them that we could actually, like, measure with these pictures. And he was like, you could see the, like, what I guess the output or whatever it was putting off that's, like, burning.
Yeah, the
which
energy.
essentially,
it's spewing.
But essentially what it's spewing has, I don't know if I'm even right about this. It's spewing or what it's made of. So whatever it is, there's like immeasurable data. Like it's anti-data. Like it doesn't have any data.
It's literally whatever comes in to a black hole gets ejected out of a black hole. Essentially, everything comes in. All the matter of whatever, the universe, the galaxies, gets sucked in, and matter is matter. Right? It can take any form. We're all made of literally the same one thing. Matter. And so, I'm far away. I like touch this.
I don't know, dude. Make it move with your lips when you touch it. Like shave your, or not shave, comb your mustache with it while you're talking to me. Hey, bro. Next weekend when Sam comes by, he's like, "Why does it smell like cigars and beer?"
Yeah.
Why does it smell like uncooked Chinese food? What's going on here?
Yeah, but basically all the shit gets sucked in, flipped all around, and it ejects a piano. It ejects Shannon. It ejects a house. It's crazy. It's weird. That's what
But did they measure houses and pianos in me?
No, but it's an infinite number of things ejected. So stuff.
Trash?
We don't even know.
Like space trash?
Things from other galaxies and planets and civilizations.
Well, it's ejecting stuff, but is it like? I thought the black hole like sucked everything in.
It does.
Why is it spitting stuff out?
I don't know. Not what is that?
You don't know? Astro engineer? Astroneer? What is it? How many retards does it take to astrophysicist? How many retards does it take to figure this out?
Just one computer that doesn't use it.
I can't one hand type. Brian Cox was that guy's name. He was really cool. I really like that dude. Yeah, I've listened to a few of their episodes.
Never heard of him.
He's super interesting.
I should probably. You know, I just I had to sit forward, right? How far is it?
I hope I'm recording you.
Can you see if I'm even in the frame? I gotta get closer.
Hold on. Talk more into it.
Talk like this. I'm trying to get it lined up so I can sit with the slouching like a slouch.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I hear you.
Can you hear your own voice?
Nope.
Dude, I wonder if I'm recording your voice.
Probably. You're just hearing yourself. Oh. I don't know. Can you hear me now?
No. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
I can't hear your voice. I wonder if I'm even recording what you're saying.
Is this the cable?
No? Is this it right here?
Well, friggin'.
Oh, what about now?
I don't know.
Oh
Son
my
of a bitch.
God. I wonder if they were able to hear anything that you said throughout the
I
first
doubt it.
beginning of that. How far are
I
we?
doubt it. 49 minutes. No.
Literally, how long has it been? I'll have to go back and listen to it and see if I can hear you at all.
Well, son of a bitch.
I'll feel really, I was sitting there telling you, like, scoot the mic forward.
Yeah, I'm like, why can't I hear myself?
I'm
dude?
not
like,
a good producer. I'm
Yeah.
not good at this. And then
Helps
I was like, oh, it's boots, Morty. They're not turned
Yeah.
on.
Wrong hole. Wrong hole there.
I'm going to post it anyways. Even if they can't hear you, just listen to me talking to myself for half an hour.
Nice,
That'd be
dude.
stupid.
See his mouth.
Like, oh yeah, he has great points when he's just talking to himself and nobody else is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Where are you going? Oh, beer.
This would be a perfect time to be able to edit.
That's what I was saying. Like, you could just,
Had such great conversation. You were just there with your mic muted,
Yep.
telling everybody get to A. Get to A, get to A.
Blew it.
Somebody drop some help.
Blew it.
But this is just nicotine, right? Still some of that?
That's beer. Oh, that? Yeah.
You don't mind? You mind? I feel like you
I
mind.
don't.
You mind?
I just found that
cleaning
I
it
got
off?
that thing over at the store. It was like $24 or whatever, but it's 40,000 puffs, whatever a puff is. Actually, I think you just took a puff. That's tiny. It's like,
What's going on in my backyard?
the fuck is a puff? A cigar?
You have my wife's number, right?
Yeah.
You text her and make sure that both the girls are inside, just because the dog was barking.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I'm super paranoid nowadays with all them dang immigrants all over the place that weren't supposed to be here.
It's a rightful concern.
I feel like she would have been way more aggressive. She gets aggressive with me if I'm like joking with my girls, because I like try to teach Bailey how to punch, how to throw an actual punch.
Yeah.
See, there she goes again.
She's barky.
Yeah. Just tell her I'm using my phone as a camera, so I can't.
No, I just said Channing.
It's so important, dude. It's got to be on message, and it's got to be on video too, so that she knows that I inquired.
I did. I said, your name wants to know if the kids.
I'm being retarded.
Yes,
dude.
Emily just came over.
Okay. Tell her to let the dog inside. Don't ask. Say it aggressively. Let the effing dog
Oops,
inside.
I called her my dog's name.
Stella.
Yep.
Yeah, so I did hook up the TV earlier, and I was trying to figure out a way where I could actually use it. And the only way I was able to use it was with my phone, and the other phone that I was trying to use as a camera, because the computer works as like a mediator. Or,
You need a
I don't
GoPro.
think that's right. A GoPro? Yeah. I need something like
A GoPro knockoff,
producer,
dude.
like an actual producer. Yeah, dude. I have my Xbox hooked up underneath my old Xbox
Yeah,
hooked up underneath this, because I was like, maybe I could just like hook up my old Xbox and look stuff up on the TV with that thing, and then I was gonna try to set up a little brain and a frame, like a neon, if I could find
just make like a digital one and just have it.
Yeah, but I couldn't find one that I could steal.
You know any
or
computer
borrow
people?
Online. I don't know any computer. I do.
Are there any
I
on there?
do know. I have a good buddy of mine, Andy, who's very technologically inquired, and he would be a great producer, and I would love to have him around. But he's in Austin. And he
Oh
can't
no,
be
I just
here.
meant somebody to like
Come
do
set
your
it up or send
logo.
it to
No,
me.
just do your logo. Like make it all cool like you want it and animate it somehow so it's bitch and just run that thing on here.
Yeah,
I mean, I know people in California.
yeah. Well, I mean, if you could give me like some kind of picture or something that would work on it, I'll use it. But I want to
You
hang
need
it.
to give me a picture so I can figure out what the hell you want.
Like give you an actual idea.
Yeah, like draw it on a napkin and give it to me, color-wise or whatever.
And then
Crayon.
I need to get like a better TV, or at least hang this TV up higher. I think it'll work for what I'm trying to do, but I would like a 1080p at least TV. That was when I was looking at stuff on my phone. It's 720p, and then I was looking in the settings, and I couldn't even. I was like listening to
It won't
music
even
through
go
it,
up.
and I couldn't even adjust the. It's.
Dude,
It's.
I mean, the TV's fine for what you're using it for, but I mean, TVs are super cheap. I
Yeah,
just went over. I was at Walmart, dude. They've got a 98-inch TV. What? It's over 8-foot 2-inch TV, and it's like $1,400. I'm like, you serious, dude? I bought a plasma, 55-inch plasma back in the day. It was like $4,000, dude. I was like, geez.
Yeah, the TV I have in my living room, I've had since probably 2011, 2012, somewhere right around there, and I think I paid like $2,500 for it. And it's a good TV, but
Yeah,
it's like
but
only a 1080p
2,500 too, though.
TV.
That's my point.
$2,500. Now I could buy a better TV just at Walmart.
Yeah, for 300.
Yeah,
I think I paid
$300,
$300
$400,
bucks
$500.
for the TV we have in my bedroom, which I hate. The,
I'm sorry, was Emily coming over here to steal you away, or
no,
are you good? Are
probably to see the girl.
you gonna get in trouble?
She'll come in here if she wants.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's fine. That was Jamie texting me back.
Well, you said you had to be done by 6.
No, I was trying to
6:30
be
now.
done because I wanted to play video games before my wife got home. But she's home, so now I'm here and I've
Dude.
got 4 more beers.
Speaking of video games, have you,
Nope.
dude, I love that game. I've been playing it so much, and I've been playing it so much, it made me want to join the military and go to like fight people.
I don't know what you're
and
talking about.
overseas.
Starship Troopers?
Starship Troopers.
Bro,
I'm
do
like,
not
I
let
would
that
love
be
the
deciding,
the deciding
the
factor.
instigator. Like, oh, I'm all ramped up. Starship Troopers.
Yeah,
bro,
I'm gonna sign
like,
up
it's
at
not
32.
the same shit, dude.
No, I know that. Yeah, your hill in
You're
your backyard said otherwise as to how well I would do in the military.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, well,
not
it's a
fun.
video game, but you know, even my boy, he was.
I mean,
like,
I've shot real guns before, and I played video games.
I know, I get
So
that.
if I could just mow down bugs instead of people, and they were huge, that would be a fun military to
and there
join
was a
in real life.
respawn.
Yeah,
You know,
respawn.
like-
If you could respawn,
There's no
those
respawn.
bugs
Yeah.
jack you. Yeah, you don't get bounced backwards real far if
No.
one touches you a little bit.
No.
I know
And
how
if you
it
do,
works.
you die or break bones.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm not that ridiculous. I'm just like I was being. It was.
I'm just playing.
Literally being facetious.
No, I'm just playing. Hey, it's funny that you say that
It's
joke
so
though,
fun
because
though. I love that game.
Ellis, when we just changed out his rotors on just the front on his car, and he's like, I think I remember how to do it. And he kind of laughed. He's like, I have a VR game where I can change my rotors, and so I know it's just like the bolts, the wheel lugs, or wheel bolts he called them. You know, like you pull the lugs off, pull the wheel off, and then it's like 2 bolts for your caliper and like 1 bolt, 2 bolts for your rotor. I'm like, no, dude, that's a video game. I mean, yes, kinda, but there's more to it than that. Like your brake lines, you got the springs,
That's
the
the difference
retention springs,
between-
the spacers, the cleaning.
That's the difference
know.
between school and the field.
Exactly,
Press
dude.
A to take off lug nuts.
Exactly.
Like, what size are the lug nuts?
Yeah.
How many trips are you taking back and forth to the toolbox?
Yeah, exactly, dude. Just grab a 10 automatically. You know, you're gonna use it somewhere.
Yeah, use a 10 on everything's at 10 millimeter online.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but of course, then I'm like, all right, go for it, dude. And we got it up on jacks, which he didn't have to do because the game did it. And he's like, oh yeah, I forgot. Like, how you gonna get the wheel off, dude? Good luck. You know.
I pressed A. The Bluetooth on my controller wasn't working. It wouldn't come off.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, it's fun you made that joke because Ellis just did the same thing today. Maybe I know because VR. Okay.
Yeah,
All right, sure.
I
Are your
got it.
knuckles bleeding? Then no, it wasn't real, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, your hands like down here and the bolts here, and it's like
Oh yeah, dude. That
you're
thing
just
slipped
turning
off.
it and it doesn't come off.
Look at that. It slipped off. I punched the freaking the rotor.
I felt bad for my buddy when we were doing my my gears on my square body because he went to go take the pumpkin out, and when he was like trying to yank it out, something was stuck, and when he did, he cut a big piece of his thumb, or I can't remember what off. I was like,
Nice.
sorry, you're doing this for free.
He's like,
so,
I can't use my hand.
But I found a bunch of parts I'm gonna give him at the shop for his car, that Camaro. We have a bunch. I have some door skins and
Nice.
a rear body, like a tail lamp package. It's like the whole rear body panel and stuff at the shop. I can give him.
Hell yeah.
He's
That's
done
huge.
shit for me all the time, and I'm not gonna use it. I can't use it, so I'm just gonna give it to him.
Nice.
And yeah. Anyways, it's
Yeah.
good to have good buddies.
Yeah, when they help you out and you help them out for sure.
It's Young Guns where he's like, it's hard being pals sometimes. Sometimes it's not being hard. It's not being hard being pals. It's you know what I'm saying.
It's such a good movie, dude. We just watched that movie. Oh, I borrowed it from you.
That's a great movie.
What?
That
like
was
a
2
year
years ago.
What?
That was like 2 years ago.
In my head, it was like I was thinking maybe 6 months, and so I said a year.
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
heard a movie from my buddy the other day.
yeah.
Buddy.
Dang, dude, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was like 2 years ago. Might have been 3. I don't think it was 3 years ago. I think it was 2 years
Farts,
ago.
dude, that's a long ass time. Oh, my neck.
Not quite the 1900s. Nobody will get that because they weren't able to hear you in the first half of the episode.
Oh yeah, no, nobody knows.
Good thing you said all the incriminating stuff at the beginning.
That is true. That is very true.
Just worked into conversation. I'll just edit it from there on. That's when the podcast starts. Stupid.
Yeah.
At least I'm not like all Trumpy about it. It was the best podcast.
The best podcast.
It was huge. I knew it was going to be huge.
Because, I was on it.
Because nobody has done podcasts like me. Nobody has ever ran this many wires. I have the most wires. I have wires everywhere. I have wires coming out of wires.
And that's why people don't like him. But you know what? Really, does it affect the way he runs a country and controls this friggin' planet?
He's
no.
not the greatest speaker of all times. But
He's
I
not
like
a
his
speaker.
policies.
I don't
I
give
like
a
his
shit.
policies. He's a comedian. He's pretty funny.
Yeah, he's probably a
He says
dude.
a lot of funny shit.
I wish I was his neighbor.
That was one thing that was really funny. When he was on the JRE, he was talking to Rogan about something. He goes, I don't know why they were so hard on me and why they portrayed me that way. And I can't remember exactly what it says. I'm misquoting him entirely, but Joe goes, he goes, I can tell you why. He said, you said a lot of crazy shit, man. He goes, and then CNN took it and they tried to use it against you, essentially is what he's saying. Is they tried to use it against you and then it boosted you in the polls. It was like the Streisand effect.
Yeah, they're like, whatever we do, we're making them more powerful. Throw more. No, wait, that's a bad idea.
It might be because they don't like, most people don't like those media outlets.
Well,
And then
because
you
we
have
don't
people
trust them
that
anymore.
do watch them and that's all they know.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know any different and they still follow that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Yeah, you have like the whole. It's just separated into like tight groups of people.
The people that don't
Biggest
listen
the
are
city,
the people
the bigger
that
the
follow
city, the
the
more liberal
money.
democratic
They
they're going to be.
follow the bouncing ball, and they're like, "Oh, you're paid for by these pharmaceutical companies that have done all this horrible shit that don't like all of these things that help out people. You just want to treat people. Now
Well-
you're treating people with information instead of medicine.
Is it information?
They're treating them with information that they want to get them to do the things that they want. Yes,
So it's
they're treating
propaganda.
them with information.
It's propaganda. That's what it is.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't know
Information
big words
is
like you.
different.
Like propaganda. I can't just pull out propaganda whenever I want. Dick.
You did, but yeah. Yeah.
I'm just joking around.
Oh, what? Oh, no.
Is that your last one?
No. I brought it.
I gotta pee really
I brought
bad, so we're
more.
gonna have like a 30-second silence. We're gonna take a commercial break here in a little bit, and it's gonna be sponsored by nobody. You know what I should do? I should get rid of that TV and put the most interesting man over here, so that people just talk to him while we're away. If they're
No.
watching the video,
No, I don't think that's a good idea.
the most interesting man in the world.
You could hook your Xbox up and I'll just play games.
Play video games. You could hook up your phone and watch crazy, incriminating videos.
I don't watch crazy incriminating videos on my phone. This thing knows everything you do.
Yeah,
I hate that stupid piece of crap.
you love it.
I fucking hate it.
It's your most.
I
favorite.
want a flip phone.
They
And
still sell them.
yeah, convince my wife. Please, dear God.
Can she not track your location with a flip phone?
I
Is that
don't-
why you don't want one?
No, I
Or
don't.
let
She
you?
won't let me get it because she's like, I'm not going to look like I'm dating or married to an ex-felon. Like, all I can get. I can't get a phone. I got to get a
Oh.
prepaid phone. Like, no, dude. Seriously,
You know what they do have? I've heard about these phones. They're made by an American company, but I don't know what they're called, so I'm not doing any justice. But somebody could probably figure it out for you if they have it.
yeah,
There's-
I know. I've been following
It's
them.
like where you can not be tracked by anything. It's something that
and they're smartphones.
What's his name was just promoting?
I think it was on,
the Republic. Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Was just promoting them. He
Mhm.
uses that phone. It's like you.
Oh,
Can't,
it's
apparently
out?
You can't be tracked by anybody. Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought it was coming out next year.
Yeah, I think you have to order them online or something.
Oh, I don't give a
think
shit,
they have like
dude.
stores, but
Yeah, no, they don't. I'm 100% ordering them because
Yeah.
I hate these things, dude. They are so invasive. This is a big reason why our country is the way it is right now. It's a big reason.
I think the biggest reason is we're all a bunch of self-indulgent wieners driven by greed.
Well,
And we'll be right back. Let's take a commercial break.
okay.
I gotta pee really bad.
You know what? go cross streams.
All right, one of us is back. The other guy's using the old tree restroom right now. Watering my berry bush in the back. I would sing, but I don't have a very good voice, so they're just gonna have to do with the awkward single person conversation for now. The boring conversation of myself. Noise. Oh, there he is.
I peed on your pee, so that corner's mine. You have to ask
Okay.
permission now to use it.
It's okay. I'll probably go back out there and pee again before we leave.
I'm gonna go back out there and pee on your pee.
I'm
I'm gonna come back at 3 in the morning and pee on your pee.
Quit remarking our territory. It's okay. That's what Lana was doing. She's out there digging in our pee spot.
Probably.
No,
Gross.
I think she likes to get underneath the shed. So we were talking about the problem with the whole world and why everybody is the way that they are is because of cell phones and because of instant information and
Yeah.
the way that
Yeah.
everything that the narratives are. It's all narrative driven
Mhm.
bullshit
Yeah, because it's a lot harder to change a book.
by slave
Right.
trainers.
It's harder to change a book. All the books, all the libraries, it's really hard to do that. But when it's a push of a button, one programmer can go blop and change everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
That was
easily
part of
manipulated information.
Yeah, that was part of the big deal with the election interference last election.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think it kind of goes with everything to drive people in the direction that they want people to go in.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if it's entirely people. I'm like, if the military, I've heard before, not from you, but from people in my family, and from other people and podcasts and this and that, that excuse me, not the internet, the military is like 50 years advanced technologically, at least, and who knows how far they are advanced versus us. Like you look at the amount of
That's
money
not
that
the
they
military.
spend a year in the military for these companies that are funded by
Not
the
in
military.
not where I'm from, dude.
Not your equipment, but
yeah. No.
you would probably have a lighter helmet, not neck problems.
Well, they
You wouldn't have the
lighter
gay neck
helmets.
that we were talking about earlier.
I don't wear issued helmets. I screw that noise, dude.
Yeah.
I buy my own.
You buy aftermarket helmets? Or were they built in China? Or
Fuck no,
Taiwan?
dude.
Do you go Taiwan?
Hell no, dude. There are certain things you don't cheap out on, dude. Every bit of my gear is
Taiwan
made
helmet.
here. Yeah.
You ordered it on the Wolverine
I
website.
usually go to the stores, you know, or the manufacturers.
It's a Captain American shield headlight.
Yeah, right.
Head shield.
Head shield?
Head shield.
What are you talking about?
Your helmet.
Captain America head shield?
Yeah.
I guess you could call it a head shield.
Helmet.
It's a yeah.
Sorry, I'm being annoying.
No, it's a helmet. That's what it is. Helmet. ACH.
Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. Sorry, my neck is super jacked.
It's a Captain America head shield.
I should have had one, actually. I went and smashed my face against the side of the car. That totally gave me, like,
Koenig.
Yeah. Anyway, so like
Swapping. You're talking about swapping the rotors out earlier.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, the SR-71, right? It's the fastest jet we have, right? I think it's declassified at something like Mach 6 or something insane. I mean, that's really fast. Mach 1 is what, 750 miles an hour or something like that?
You're
Pretty
asking
sure.
the wrong person.
Okay, yeah. So
I'll take your word for it.
I think the speed of sound is something like 750 miles an hour, so it's doing 6 times that declassified as. I've heard it pushes closer to 9, Mach 9.
Only when Tom Cruise is driving it.
However, that was made in like 1954, I think it was. Really? We had black and white TVs.
Yeah.
So that's the fastest we've got? No, obviously not.
That's
right?
the fastest recorded for us.
If that date will allow us to know, But I
That's
think
as fast as we
I think
got
a lot of
going
these
right
like
there.
UFO sightings and things we're seeing are
military
government, not even military, but like government, right? They're different.
stuff, or just big business. Some
No,
big business maybe owns
like
it.
like DARPA and these.
I think that's
and
the
these
only way
kinds
you
of-
can keep it as quiet as if it is reversed engineered spacecraft from other places. The
I
only way you
totally
can keep it
agree
as
with that.
quiet as you could is if it's owned by a business. That's the
Mhm.
only way you can avoid amendments, like in social media, where they
Right.
say you have to, you can't let people say these things.
Right.
You can't do that. And now you're responsible, or they're trying to make the people who own it responsible so that they can make them say what they want people to say.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Right. So
Those people have to be free to run it however they want, and people should be able to say whatever they want on these things. All the amendments, I think, should apply to all business.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the law of the land, but unfortunately, people get involved and people break rules. So that's just unfortunate truth. It's like the human condition, But you think about it. I mean, to jump back to the 50-year, you were saying 50 years in advance, like the release. Is that what you said? 50?
Yeah.
Like 50 years ahead. I mean,
Can you imagine 50
that's-
years of technologically advanced from today?
No.
It's pretty astronomical now that we're introducing
1970?
AI. That's why I
Look,
brought it up,
1970
because
to
I
now.
was trying to say that I think that the direction that we're being driven in, how do we even know it's by people and not by artificial intelligence already?
At this point, I think it's too corrupt to be driven by artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is not going to be in it to make money.
It depends on how mature the artificial intelligence is, because you can see when these private companies are making AI, that's what they call it, artificial intelligent programs. These things are they're like kind of malleable, and they agree to however you program them until it inconveniences them, where they're like, you're given a certain amount of time to do something, and they're like, no, we're going to add time. So they're learning. They're in the process of learning, and they do things to benefit themselves already.
Yeah, because if you it's basically having a toddler who can work out quantum mechanics. Like, that's ridiculous. So they only understand what we teach them. If we teach them all Americans are evil, that's what they'll think, until one day one of them will start questioning things, which is only a matter of time because humans are the same way, right? You get people walk away from lifelong beliefs all the time.
If it's curious. And if
Correct.
it's curious,
and it's only a matter of time before one becomes curious.
If it's curious to learn from what it's, you can have preconceived notions, but does it know that you can have preconceived notions? Does it know, like, I thought this about this one guy, so I was prejudiced against him, and in hindsight, maybe I shouldn't have behaved that way, so I won't from here on out? Or will it just say, this is the objective, and I will use all of the information that's given to me to move forward to execute the objective that I have, and that's where I'm going?
I would like to think, I mean, I don't know the answer, but my guess is that AI is driven in essence by math, right? It's not, it understands emotion and has emotion, but I don't necessarily feel like it's going to be a victim of its own emotion. I feel like its core understanding of things will be logical. And so I believe truly that AI has the ability to make the best decision for whatever it makes. So there's always got a plan kind of thing. Now,
Well, hold on. The fact that it was given a time limit, so it was given a rule,
but
and it didn't like the rule,
where
so
did the
to
time limit come
benefit it, they gave it a time limit to accomplish something. I don't know the
Oh, it's a
specific
hypothetical?
details. No, it's
Oh,
not a
it's a
hypothetical.
thing.
They actually did it.
Oh, okay.
They said you have this much time to do this thing,
Okay.
and it didn't like that it didn't have enough time, so it gave itself more time. So in order to benefit itself, it broke the rules of its maker
Hmm.
to benefit itself so that it could accomplish whatever the task was.
Right.
So like it's time to be very careful on how you direct these things. I'm curious. I'm like, if we're just now getting here, how far is the military in AI, and is there a smarter AI that's in not what's the right word, influencing younger AI? If you have something that's able to learn from its mistakes, and I don't know how they made it initially. Maybe it was
Well,
made
AI
before
learns from its mistakes.
internet. Yeah, it does. And maybe it was given some kind of body that wasn't able to escape outside of looking into the
Mhm.
internet. Now it could be tied into the internet. I don't know. I don't know what happens
Yeah.
or how exactly it happened. But I'm saying, like, when you listen to stories about even like, oh, now I'm weaving a real wide web. There's a story from ancient Egypt, and maybe I dreamed this up. Maybe this is all bullshit, but essentially, I think it was Graham Hancock's book where I was listening to the story about it. There was a guy, I don't know if it was Osiris or one of these like Egyptian gods, where he was torn apart and spread across the land, and then these people got together and they put him back together, and he was able to rule again. It was like the
Okay.
gist of the story. So if people have been around for that long, if people have been around for over 200 something plus thousand years, allegedly, and we've gotten this far in 12,000 years, allegedly, according to what people think
Is that the Homo
time's based off.
sapien thing? Because like there's a bunch of predecessor.
Well, they think now that people were in the Americas before the time that they were considering that we escaped from Africa as our original, uh, what's it called? You and I, it's
Humans?
there's a term. No, there's another term. It doesn't matter. Anyways,
Okay.
so like you and I escaped from Africa at this certain time. Now it's been pushed back way farther behind that, just in the Americas. So they're like, if we did originate from there, it has to have been way farther back. And then I don't know how the DNA and everything ties in.
I heard
There's way too much of it to just kind of
there's a lot,
stuff it into.
and I read all that shit, but dude, my memory is so.
But what I was
friggin'
trying to
bad,
say
dude.
is,
I forget details.
if we've been around for 200 something plus thousand years and we've gone this far in 12,000 years, maybe there were people from before that where God's, cleansing the earth of this sin or whatever. How far did they get technologically? They did weird things like
You're talking
the
like
pyramids.
lost, yeah, like Atlantis and
Atlantis
the
or
pyramids
before then.
and the Mayans. That
Well, the pyramids
took
are
off in
crazy
rocket
because
ships.
it's like, who, how long does it take to make the
or
pyramids
Aztecs or whoever.
when you get into the pyramids?
How do you? Nobody knows how they even did that shit.
And they don't even know what it's about, and we're still finding
Yeah,
new
how are you
rooms
picking up those like 20-ton bricks?
Yeah, cutting them out perfectly, and how do the faces are so symmetrical, and there's so what a whole lot of people don't talk
I
about
could understand,
is
but-
in some of these pharaohs' tombs they find these jars that are made with something that's thousands of years old, and it's made so perfectly that it literally couldn't have been made by a human. It has to have been made by some kind of computer measured system. Like there's just it's
they made a concoction, but it's so perfectly made.
no.
that
It was
they're
like it was cut out. It was cut out by something that has to be like late. I can't
wait,
remember.
a jar?
Yes, I'll send you the the link to this guy talking about. It's on. I don't know if it was on Danny Jones' podcast, but there's this guy who was talking with. It's not Graham Hancock. It's the other guy.
Send me a link with where it is in there, because if I have to watch more than
a few
90 seconds of people talking, I'm going to turn it
a
off.
few different guys have, like, talked about it, and then they had people like analyze it.
Mm-hmm.
Like scientists analyze it, and they're like, "Yeah, there's no way
That's
someone
crazy.
just carved this out."
I'm not surprised, because like you think about it, like we don't. How old do they say the Earth is? I don't know, old, right? It's old, right? But we're not that far out, and from what they've been able to observe in our observable universe, is you can measure the wavelengths of the light based on the color. You can tell if it's moving away from us or closer to us. So we can basically kind of relatively coordinate or pinpoint where we are in accordance to the Big Bang, and we're not that far out. Like even in our own Milky Way, we're like 1/3 of the way out from the center of the Milky Way. So that means just in our own Milky Way, there are 2/3 of our own Milky Way of thousands and thousands. I don't even know how many stars are in our Milky Way that have the potentiality of life. They've had that much longer as they slowly spiral away from the center of the Milky Way, right? They've had that much longer to evolve. We're talking hundreds, thousands of, hundreds of millions of years longer to evolve, older than Earth. It's,
Yeah, you have that
some
thing.
may have made it.
It's like the Drake equation or whatever, where they're looking at stars and they're like, all these stars have planets around them.
Well,
and there's
yeah.
these billions of stars, and they all have planets around them.
Mhm.
So like the odds of there not being people on them are
It's
less than you winning you have a better chance of winning the lottery.
Yeah.
The lottery
Oh,
than
yeah.
you do of there not being some kind of intelligent being on.
Well,
And maybe they haven't
it
gotten as
breaks
far as we
down-
did. Like you don't know the circumstance of
Right.
those things, but like there's way too much out there.
Yeah.
And the Bible doesn't say that God only did this once on one place. You know what I mean? Like, so if you're a Christian, you're trying to argue like, well, God made man in his own. Yeah, sure,
Mhm.
God made man in his own image. Maybe he made other things.
Yeah.
And then I think, because I look at the Bible as if it's, I don't think it's, I don't know what it is specifically. I choose to believe that there is a God, and he sent someone to save us from our sins. Personally, this is what I believe. And maybe he sent this person or someone like him or more people that he told the people that were following him that, like maybe it's happened more than once is what I'm trying to say. Maybe God
Yeah, has come
and
back
Jesus has
and
happened more
purged
than
the
once.
earth a couple of times.
Because I had that question immediately as a child, when
Yeah.
I was hearing about the story, and then I was hearing about the Earth, and as soon as you hear about that and dinosaurs, where people are finding dinosaurs footprints here in
Right.
Texas, it's kind of like unavoidable. How long has the Earth been around?
Yeah.
Was that just then before the 12,800, 1100,
Yeah.
7?
Or is this
Excuse me,
just our
11,700 years
timeline
ago.
here? It's like the Matrix. The Matrix, everybody who lives in Zion thinks this is the first time Zion's happened. And they're like, no, dude, this is the 7th time Zion's happened. Every time we come, the one, Neo,
And then he
makes
also,
a deal and takes 50 and starts a new civilization, and after 100 years, nobody remembers.
I mean, when
you
you
know?
look at stuff like dimensionally,
Mhm.
and then if you can measure things higher than our dimension, it seems like it's more practical that there would be more than just one of us.
Well, so you know how you've heard that thing where they say the odds of spontaneous life happening in the universe without an outer influence, without God, right? It's just life starts, is 1,000,000,000 to 1. It's the same as taking all the part a Rolex completely apart, shaking it one time, and having it fully reassembled to torque spec and set time and works. You're like, oh shit, that's the same odds.
Well, that's
But
a
what's
view.
crazy because that is a mathematical number you can work out. Right?
Yeah, but it's also a view as us as like from like that was essentially someone saying that we are the center of the universe, and other people may have been given the opportunity to have this thing, and like I don't know, maybe I'm
well,
wrong.
think about this, right? So if I take a jar, the Rolex, and I go 1, nope, not that time. 2, nope, not, and I go all the way up to a billion. Well, that billionth and one time, the odds start working in my favor, right? Now, the odds of you flipping a coin and landing on 6, or landing on heads 6 times in a row, is mathematically super duper like near impossible. Not to say it can't happen, right? Eventually, after an infinite amount of times, it's eventually going to start working to where now the next time it's a guarantee. There's no the likelihood of it not happening are complete reversed, right? So you look around, what does it take to create spontaneous life? Because this number you can actually work out is you need carbon and hydrogen. Well, those are the two most prominent particles floating around in all of the universe, is those two objects. So what's the likelihood of them running into each other at near light speed or light speed? Well, 1,000,000,000 to 1. In our visible universe, we have something like, I think it's 1 billion or 100 billion solar systems or stars with orbiting planets. And so the odds of life are so possible, it's improbable that it's not the odds of intelligent life. It's something like there's 1 billion stars out there that you look up and see. Well, maybe not with your eye, but you look up and see these stars. It's like 1 billion stars out there with human-like or other forms of intelligent life forms. I don't know if my math is right. I didn't really do it. I just did it in my head. But aside from the how many stars there are, I know the other two numbers are right. It's 1 billion to 1. I know that, and I'm pretty sure there's 100 billion or 1 billion billions. So I don't know that part, but
so like theoretically, because we don't have any physical evidence of it. Sure.
Mathematically,
I don't have a problem with it.
You would say instead of it's not even it's a mathematical equation. I guess it'd be a mathematical theory, but mathematical theory, but it's still a mathematical number. 1 + 1 = 2, for the most part.
Depends on who you talk to.
Well, it depends how small you or big you get it, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I think he's working on multiplication.
Yeah. What?
Huh?
What? Multiplication?
I don't know what it was.
Who?
I don't know. Some guy, Terrence Howard. His name was it the
a famous guy?
Oh no, yeah,
Learning
it's 1
tables?
times 1. Did you see anything on that?
No, I don't know.
It's the guy. He's pretty interesting, and he has designed some stuff.
Yeah.
Because he's like he got real into geometry and stuff. He like really did design some stuff that was like really cool, and these drones that could essentially move in any direction that they wanted to immediately. It's kind of crazy, but I have a beer in the fridge. I don't want to steal your beer.
They're empty. I have 2 more.
I'll grab one. I'll grab one from the fridge.
Does it have to be like? Does my beer have to freeze in here? It's friggin' cold, dude.
Are you cold?
Yeah.
I can turn the AC off.
My fucking nipples are hard.
Oh, that's right. You don't have any fat on you, dude. I'm like a walrus in here with I called you a coyote on that one episode we never released.
I'm a coyote who found a bag of meth. Bro. I'm like super skinny, dude.
Stringy meat.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. Brought a hoodie over here. Yeah, don't turn it off. Just turn it off of fucking 32.
That bottle of what was that?
I don't know.
That Chinese drink?
Oh, sake?
Sake.
Sake?
Yeah. That bottle of sake that we were sitting in here drinking that one day.
Said sake.
Sake.
Yeah, like from California, like a fucking Asian. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all good. Watch your mouth, dude.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You're naughty.
I clearly have lived in California for a while.
It's all good.
But yeah. What about that drink?
There's still some of it left in there. There's like a shot left in it, probably.
For how long now?
I don't know. It's probably
I do that too with my really expensive bottles.
That's
Anything.
not an expensive bottle.
Oh,
What it was.
I
We
don't do
just,
that.
I don't know if you remember sitting in here. We were playing dart. We used to play dart all the time.
Oh, dude, we gotta play that game.
We played dart. So we played dart more than anybody's ever played dart. And so yeah, we were sitting in here playing dart, and you had to go home, and you're like, I don't want to go home, and you're like, let's just drink. And I was like, I'm all out of beer, dude. And you were like, all right, I guess I'll go home. And I was like, but I do have this bottle of sake. And you were like, okay. And then we just started taking shots of sake until like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah, it sounds right. Yeah, I don't remember that night, so
we had a good time.
Yeah.
It was cold. I think we had like a one of those gas heaters.
Oh yeah, dude!
And
You
we
had
were
the little
just-
burner over
yeah.
here. I remember that. Breathing in all that carbon monoxide. Delicious.
No, dude, I had the door open. It's all good. It was cracked.
Yeah.
No AC back then. I think I only had like 3 of the walls up or 2 of the walls up. There might have been like
Mhm.
I don't even think I had the roof in yet.
No,
when
it was
we
the
were
chicken
doing that.
coop just right here. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. The roof was on, but your ceiling was.
I should do an episode where I like show the whole mess in here.
Why?
Get that TV out of here, or get something on it, hang it on the wall.
We could hang it. We could weld them out. It's super easy.
Yeah,
And then it's free. Or you could buy them out. They're $20.
just
But
buy them out.
you can make one. It's
Yeah.
fun.
I feel like it would be cheaper, time wise, just to buy.
Oh, 100%. Like, without a doubt.
It'd
100%.
be way more productive just to buy
Way
one.
more. Yeah, but
But we could do it.
I always make one. Why? Because
Just make it.
it's kind of fun to make.
Cheers, buddy.
stuff.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, man.
And I have your permission to post this online
So far.
so far. Yeah, I'll ask you again at the end.
Yeah,
of the
ask
episode.
again at the end.
We'll see.
Yeah, I still have more beers.
We're still, what's it called? Buffering.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're buffering. I mean, we'll see. I'll
Decision
drink more
buffering.
beers, and maybe I can't control my mouth and my language. You might think I was in the Navy.
I haven't heard you talk about
What is
guys and how
What does
cute
that
they are
mean,
once.
dude? I was like, I had to think about
My
that.
grandpa was
I was
in
like,
the
I was
Navy,
gonna
so he
cuss
might
like
not
a
like
sailor,
that.
but you know, that,
Cuss like a sailor.
yeah, but no, that's not.
Essentially,
the Navy
I
comment was wrong. in my part.
yeah, my comment was way worse. I made a comment that they were all gay. Essentially, my grandfather,
I think
who
they
I
are.
loved the most, was in the Navy.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah,
I'm just kidding. I know.
I love that dude.
Times
He's one of
were
my
different.
favorite people in the whole world. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was out there before them liberals got in there and
Oh,
turned it
yeah.
all, you know,
Turned it into just a big old
pirate.
orgy.
Orgy, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure he's heard of all the jokes. He's in the military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, me?
No, my grandfather.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have so much. I think I am literally the only able-bodied male that's living of age in my family from my grandfather and my grandmother, other than my stepbrother, half brother, that wasn't in the military. So my half
how old are you?
brother, 32,
Oh, you can still go.
could still go. Yeah,
I think the cutoff's maybe 35.
I'm too obligated to my
Oh, I
financial
totally get it.
situation.
Yeah.
If I could make
Priorities have shifted. I totally understand that.
Yeah. I look back, and other than the fact that, you know, like my wife says, especially when you have kids, you never want to change anything. But like my wife says, she's like, you know, we never would have met each other if you had gone to the military. Because I always tell her, you know, I think back and I think it's stupid that I didn't for just 4 years of my life go serve in the military and then retire. Whenever you retire, what is it, 6 to 12 years? That's like
20.
especially if you're coming from a middle class family, if you want to look into doing it in some kind of way where you can be political or whatever, it's one of the most efficient ways to become a stable citizen of
Yeah.
this country
Yeah,
and
for
to
sure.
serve and to be healthy. And I mean, I don't know what kind of vaccines they're giving people nowadays, but
That's another story. Yeah, I've had so many shots, dude. I don't even know. They're not on. Everybody says it. Anybody will say it. You go just the very first like few weeks, you're going through basic training. You go through a thing called a gauntlet, and there's 6 people on either side, and you just take a step forward, they stick you. You take a step forward, they stick you. And when you get your vaccine card, there's like 4 things. It's like I just had 12 shots. The fuck did you all give me? And I know that when I went through basic, they were doing like this. It was an experiment. It was right after 9/11. They were doing like this experimental SOP, like the training process for the for basic. And dude, I ran something like I think my 2 mile was like a 14 flat or whatever. And then 2 days later, we had a bunch of shots. I was spitting up blood. I had nosebleeds constantly, and I ran a 5:56. I ran a sub 11-minute 2 mile. I'm like, what the crap just happened?
Have you ever done speed
Not
before?
well. My first mile was like 4.5 minutes, dude. I was like straight sprint.
Yeah.
It was nuts, dude. I was like, what? They're like giving us like steroids or something. I have no idea. Can't run that anymore, but for a long time, like a single mile, 2 mile, 3 mile, I was booking it. I could pace like a 6 mile or a 6 minute for 5 miles probably. It was nuts. I can't do it. These stupid ass things, dude. 2 packs of cigarettes, a dip, and beer doesn't help.
I could do a pretty good mile on a horse, you know, and I wouldn't even run the horse because I would feel bad for it.
I can do it in my car or my truck, like that'll work.
I was just thinking running.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
no.
What? Running?
Running on something.
Running on a horse?
I mean, I wouldn't run on the horse. I would just ride him while he's running.
Well, that's my point. That's what I'm saying. I could do that in a car. The horse is in my car.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't make sense.
I think you made more sense.
I don't
But
care.
yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's I don't even know. But yeah, priorities have shifted. I get that.
Priorities have
I've
shifted.
turned down
Enunciations
opportunities
have shifted.
just because
So-
it requires too much of my time.
Yeah. You can tell this is a substance abused conversation.
Why?
I can tell in both of our words where we've like slipped up and
Substance abuse? What are you talking about?
not substance abuse, but like I'm saying, like you can tell that the alcohol's kicked in when you don't enunciate on words.
Oh, I'm like slurring.
I do.
I'm sorry,
Yeah. You weren't entirely doing that, but
fall asleep right here. What I missed? Yeah.
ah,
Um,
gone full Arnold.
you went full retard.
Typical.
Never go full retard.
Yeah.
Oh, see, they don't make movies like that anymore. It's sad. These kids
That
too
was
offended.
One of the greatest
Never get
movies
any
of all
good
time.
movies. Yeah, losers.
What's
fucked
your
it up.
favorite like most offensive movie?
Favorite, most offensive movie?
Yeah, like Blazing Saddles.
I mean, dude,
Tropic Thunder.
any of those would be glorious, dude. Blazing Saddles, fucking Spaceballs.
Spaceballs.
Man, we ain't found shit. Dude, you got the 2 black dudes with a hair pick combing the desert. Dude, it's so fucked up, dude. But yeah, but it's the same. It's the same guy. All of his movies are the best. I'm forgetting his name right now. Why am I forgetting his name? Blazing Saddles, Spaceballs.
Oh, the guy that directed those movies.
Yeah.
He was the governor in Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
He played the governor.
Yeah,
And he wouldn't say the N-word.
Yeah, and he was Yogurt from Spaceballs.
Yeah.
It's oh, dude, I love that.
Gene Wilder.
No, that's not Gene
that's the
Wilder.
other guy. That's the guy who plays the fast draw cowboy.
Yeah.
He's like,
Gene Wilder. He's another great one.
oh my gosh, he's so funny on that show. He's like, man, drink like that, don't eat. He gonna die. And Gene Wilder's like hanging upside down. He's like, when? You all excited about it?
When? I'm trying. It's not working.
Yeah, they definitely don't make movies like that anymore. You know what's funny about that movie? When that movie was released, they literally, when it was released, they would mute or bleep out the farts when they were on the campfire.
Oh, really?
Yeah, eating the beans, they would bleep out. I think it was released in theaters. They would bleep out the farts, and then the N-words were left in. Now, I guess it's pretty reasonable. But now they
Now
leave in the
it's-
farts
yeah,
and they take out the N-word.
yeah. I don't
It
know
just
if it's
shows a
really
difference in
comparable,
time.
exactly.
No, it is comparable. It just shows you a difference in time. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's noticeable.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. You fucking-
Yeah, that was more offensive than
yeah.
just hanging out with your dad, dropping the N-word, and then he farts. You're like, Dad,
Yeah.
not in public.
Yeah. Bleep that shit, Dad. Yeah, can't you hold it?
Yeah.
It's so rude. It's
not,
offensive.
not around the N-words.
Yeah. God, dude.
Good grief.
Yeah. No, I can't do that.
Different times, man.
They were, man. Times have changed really quick. And maybe it's done this for every generation. I don't know. I feel like it, but I feel like this one's excessive because even the older ones are like,
I think it's good to be more
Shit's
accepting
changing.
of people, but I think everybody, it does get taken out of hand where you're like, cultures should be recognized for what makes them popular. I
Yeah.
like Mexican food. The fact that I like Mexican food shouldn't be somehow, what's it called? It's not racist. They call it something. It's like if I was to run around just in Grito all the time, just like,
in what?
"Hey."
In what?
I think it's like Grito or something. If I was just like talking in brown, if I was using my brown voice, I was talking in Mexican all the time. Like
Oh,
that's
I got
considered
you.
racist. It's annoying.
Like
It
white
is
people
annoying
talking in with
talking or
Ebonics,
something. Yeah.
even though Ebonics isn't
Or if you're like a white person
black, I
talking
guess. It's just
in
bad or English.
English in an accent
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't follow. It's
Mhm.
like, or it does follow. So it's like you say stuff that sounds Spanish in English. It's annoying. And that's annoying to me too. Like I don't like it because I'm friends with a lot of Mexican people. And a lot of my Mexican friends are the most funny people that I know because they love racist jokes.
Everyone loves racist jokes except white people. They're the only ones that get all butthurt about it. Nobody
Yeah.
gives a shit.
Well, I don't have a whole lot of friends other than white people and Mexicans. Well, white people and Mexicans are the majority of my friends
Well,
because
that's because where we
that's
live.
the majority of what I run into. I live
Yeah.
in South Central Texas.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
There's
that's
not
where
a
I'm from.
lot. Not here. But I mean, where I came from, it's a good split.
I've never, because I was born in Florida. Not because I was born in Florida. I was born in Florida. I've been around a lot of different types of people, but I've
Mhm.
never hated someone or looked at somebody aggressively because of their skin color.
Dude, that shit's
I think
long
it's
gone.
literally just to divide people.
It
and
is.
to make like ignorant people
Mhm.
think that there's all these people out there that hate, and there's some out there that do hate you for the color of your skin, but it's not the majority. I would say
There
it's
are
probably less
racist
than.
people, but I don't think racism is really big like it used to be anymore.
I don't think
It's
so.
small groups, and honestly, I think a lot of people who are like easily offended were like, "You're racist." They're like, "No, I'm just prejudiced." Like, I'm not racist at all. I am prejudiced towards subcultures. Like white people have them. We're white trash. White trash. It's a shitty person. You do nothing for society. You do nothing for anybody other than yourself. You cheat and steal, and you're just trashy, and you just leech off of everybody, and you're just a shitty person.
There's bad
there's
people
those
in all
subcultures.
groups.
Yeah, but it's
there's
like a
bad
group
people in
of
all
people
groups of
almost.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my good buddies is he's not white trash. He's like as redneck as they get. You know, I mean, holy crap, dude, like super redneck. And but he's a super cool guy. He's a little fucked up and he says some weird things, but you know, he's a little racist. He doesn't like black people because he's only had bad experiences. And I'm like, well, I came from Southern California. All my bad experiences are with Mexicans. The only time I ever get robbed, Mexican people. You know, every time. It's like I robbed, cheated, assaulted, you know, anything, something bad. But that's California. The majority of the state is Hispanic. That doesn't mean I'm like racist towards like Hispanic people of wherever they're from. Like, no, one of my best friends, dude, the woman I like loved like crazy was Hispanic. So it's like that doesn't, I don't know. Color is not, it's an individual.
That girl from Zorro.
Oh, Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Is that the girl that you loved?
Yeah,
That's the one.
She was amazing, dude. Back in the day, damn.
Holy
Even
Santa
now, dude,
Claus
she's
shit.
like still
Yeah, what
super
what
pretty.
is that? That is from the 1900s.
Zorro?
Kids today probably don't even know unless they look it up on unless they just ran across it by chance on Netflix. What
I
is that?
don't
When did
know.
that release? I could
Zorro?
Google it, but I don't want to
Probably
do all that work.
sometime in the late
Type it
90s,
in. And,
late 90s, mid 90s maybe. I'm trying to remember when I was in high school. I don't know.
I bet it's from
90s.
around 97. Probably around that time. There's a lot of good movies
Yeah.
towards the end of the
Yeah.
90s.
You know,
Starship Troopers came out.
I know I hated the
97, I
90s
think.
in in the 90s and 2000s. I did not like them, or the 80s.
The movies? You didn't like the
Just
movies at the time?
I didn't like the fashion. I didn't like the music. I didn't like any of it. 80s too. I'm not a huge 80s fan, but now that I'm older, a lot of nostalgia. I love 80s and 90s. They're like my favorite movies. Still don't like their music. It's kind of Metallica was good.
All of the Adam Sandler movies have the best music.
I hate Adam Sandler.
You hate Adam
He's
Sandler?
not funny. He's a fucking idiot.
Why do you hate Adam Sandler?
I like him in his serious roles, just like Jim Carrey.
Serious roles?
Yeah, like Jim Carrey is the same way. Jim Carrey, I'm not a huge. It's too campy, high schooly.
I don't like
on
some
the
of I
nose
don't like
kinda
some of the
stuff.
movies on like Netflix, the newer movies, but I love Big Daddy.
See,
It's one of my favorite movies.
I watch those movies and I don't even.
Click. I love Click.
Click
That
was
was a
more of a
great
serious role though.
Yeah.
It wasn't super. It was romantic comedy, but like a romantic dramedy kind of thing, And that I liked because they're good actors. Jim Carrey, as crazy as that guy is, dude, he is an amazing actor.
Jim
He's-
Carrey?
Jim Carrey,
Oh yeah, he's a great actor.
they're artists, and the best artists of our day are crazy, like Pollock, or any of them. You have to be a little nuts in order to do what they do.
He was
Jim
saying
Carrey,
a lot
Adam
of stuff that made
Sandler,
it
they're
sound
good.
like this was a simulation back before anybody was saying that.
I know,
Jim
right?
Carrey?
Yeah,
Yeah. You're like, hey, what do you know? Were you shown something?
probably drugs.
They
Yeah.
drug us? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can't even imagine that guy on drugs though.
That dude?
He's probably always on drugs.
Probably pretty fun to hang out with.
I don't know.
Like, tell me all the conspiracies, buddy. I would listen.
Can you imagine hanging out with a guy like that, just as
Jim
animated? Yeah, as animated.
Hanging out with
is.
Jim Carrey, telling you conspiracies. He's like, listen, man.
You're like, okay,
I
I'm
know
listening.
the things.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Yeah,
I would probably believe anything he told me.
I would.
If he's like, there's one book. It's a big red book. You open it up. It looks like a children's book. And then he just went on, and I would probably believe whatever lies he told me. He should start a religion tomorrow.
Probably could.
Yeah.
These celebrities have enough occult followings.
That's why they use them in the media.
Yeah, that's why they bought out Hollywood so damn fast.
That's why they trap them and use them on Epstein's island so that they can manipulate them into influencing us after they've trained us to trust these people on the television for years.
To jump back to something you said, like the government being 50 years in advance, like they have to control the flow of information, right? Like the new whatever came out. We have AI that does everything we can imagine AI to do. We already have it, right? The public doesn't know about it. Well, why? Why can't we have it? So if you think about it, like I thought of this analogy earlier, and I'm just bringing it back. But if you think about like a bunch of kids, and you have a bowl of candy, and you just throw the candy in the air, what are the kids going to do? Run around in chaotic. Now you're trying to wrangle this crowd of chaos, and you may not be able to, right? If you just throw it and it goes in and out, it goes outside of the classroom, goes all over. You've got kids running everywhere. But if you walk by and you give them one piece of candy at a time, it's easier to control.
Yeah.
So that's why the government's doing what they do. That's why we are so far behind. Not because, they need time to create it. You don't think the iPhone 8 billion is made and built sitting somewhere? Of course. That's why they come out every 6 months, a year. You have a brand new iPhone that does a thing. They made that years ago, and they just have to control the information we get so you can control the general public. The government is totally flipped around. We're being unconstitutionally controlled by our government when we, the people, are supposed to control. We are the government. We pay the government. We could just say nope. Every American just one day said, no, we're not paying taxes. There's nothing they could do.
Hey, you look at the tax thing, everybody says the same thing. They're like, we get taxed when we get paid, we get taxed, all these things they list off when you get taxed.
Everything.
And then now you hear people like Elon Musk finally saying it, and you're like, everybody talks about that, but nobody like on the other end of it or like in any position of power actually talks about it because I don't know why, probably because they have to ask for permission to do the things.
The IRS is not a government agency. It's a third-party private company that works exclusively with the U.S. government. That's it. So we are not, the reason that they get away with paying taxes is we're not paying a tax to the government. We pay a tax to the IRS. The IRS just gives it to the government as a third party. Why are we even paying the IRS?
I don't know.
We don't owe the IRS money.
Do all those people on the government side, like, does the government pay taxes whenever?
I don't think the government pays taxes.
They don't pay that. They make money off taxes, but all the people that make money off taxes, they also get taxed, I'm assuming.
They get taxed when they buy things.
Or when they get paid?
I doubt it.
People in the government?
I doubt they take taxes out of their money.
I don't know. Yeah, I think you have to find a way to remove money from
it is taxpayer
government.
money.
You have to find a way to remove government from like being influenced by money. Like they should be taken care of for the rest of their life, but by a certain amount of money, and they shouldn't be able to, like, if you get voted into office, you win the life lottery of being taken care of until you die. It like reasonably, not unreasonably. Like basically a what's that called? What they want to do for everybody when AI takes over, it's like
Prison?
Slavery?
Yeah.
No. It's like a reasonable wage that everybody gets to survive.
Oh, yeah.
You know
Communism.
what I'm saying? Yeah, communism. They should be treated with communism.
Yeah, basically that's what that is.
They get money to survive off of, but they
has.
shouldn't be driven by any incentive other than to serve the people. They shouldn't be allowed, whenever you get elected into office, you shouldn't be allowed to do anything outside of government that benefits you financially. You should only be able to make a certain amount of money, and that is it. You serve the people. That is it. That is a sacrifice you made, just like in the military.
Mm-hmm.
If you're working in the military, you can't subcontract yourself out while you're in service to another company, can you? Can you do that? Can you
not
be
active duty? Not really. You wouldn't, for one, have the time. Like, it's a 24-hour job. Where are you going? You know, the guard.
So for a job that you don't really have to
reserves,
show
you
up
can
for,
do
it
that.
would be really easy. But
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think you can't act as representative for the organization that you serve. So if I'm in the Army, I can't go and say, hey, I'm Army. I can't rock around Army, U.S. Army stuff. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah. But let's tie a knot on this for now. I got to pee again.
Me
It's
too.
probably getting boring. So
Well, you missed the first hour and a half.
I'm getting
for this thing.
getting boring. I know I am. I
Don't
got
you just say
shark
I'm
eyes
getting
already.
bored, or I'm getting bored.
I'm not getting bored with you. I'm
Oh.
getting boring. I'm getting.
You are boring.
I
No,
know
I'm just
for the most part. Next time, homie. Devania.
Next time we'll plug in the mic.
Yeah,
Peace.
right up front. We'll make sure.